Hello there, everyone. My name is Oversoul. This is Oversoul Gaming, and welcome back to the Alan Wake 2 Lake House DLC. And before we get started, because I am trying to trophy hunt and don't want to have to replay this a whole bunch of times, I'm going to, since I already played this and beat it normally once, I'm entitled to doing this, and I would be anyways if I didn't, because it's my money, so, shut up. But I am turning on infinite ammo, because the Black Rock gun there's not enough ammo for it. It's very limited. So, and I want to get kills. I want to get the kills trophy, so. But none of that matters now because we have some story related stuff to do first. We have a date with a talking painting by the name of Randolph.
The Marmonts were
Or
holding a
Rudolph.
painter here. Rudolph Lane. Does that ring a bell?
The shame of a man.
I think you are, or were, Rudolph Lane.
Himself, a self-portrait, make them see.
Look, I might be able to help you. But I need information, cooperation.
No brush, just himself.
Okay.
Rudolph Lane was dying. Both murderer and victim. Red hues ran down his hands. Was it scarlet? Or cadmium? Too vivid to be maroon. Names don't matter, he decided. Color was pure. Inspiring. For the first time in years, he wanted to paint. A self-portrait. To say goodbye. No. To make them remember. To make them see what they did. He slapped his hands against the wall to steady himself. He began from there. No brush, just himself. The strokes were crude, violent. The pain, misery, and hate he'd endured there. The fire in his eyes and hands and bones all spread into the shape of a man. It was quick. Natural. Like a heart attack. He slumped down to the floor, smiling at the anger he left smeared across the wall.
So the painting was born of his own blood. Well, that would explain why it acts that way. Alright. Now here's the floor where we're going to get all of our kills that we need for that trophy I'm trying to get. Man, I got so many trophies naturally just playing through this the first time. But I missed so much. When I did the Night Springs DLC, I only missed one thing my first time playing it.
Ooh, nice office.
Yep, we gotta get there, and it's not gonna be a straightforward path, because all of that shit down there is gonna turn into a labyrinth of filing cabinets we gotta get around. With enemies to boot. But, since we have infinite ammo, I won't be too scarred this time. Yeah, my first playthrough was on normal, with no accessibility options. So, I'm entitled to what I'm doing this time. Just fuck it. Alright, here we go.
Come on.
No, you come on. Alright, I don't remember which way I'm supposed to go. Got him! Finally, I got one before it left the wall. I hear noises. There must be another one nearby.
Diana sat in her office. A weak desk light kept the darkness around her at bay. The silence of the archive suited her. She scowled at a series of graphs when the room turned red. Alarms blared. Breach detected. Then the walls of the archives rumbled. A tremor in the bones of the facility. One by one, the red lights went dark as a wave of nothing poured in from all sides. Diana stood, but there was nowhere to run. The sheer depth of the darkness terrified her. She realized they had done this. Her and Jules. Their ambition. Their hatred. Her desk lamp flickered. In the brief moment before it all went dark, she thought of Jules' smile.
So, Jules and Diana were both overtaken by the darkness. Seems about right. Speaking of the Taken, where'd that little fucker go? All right, Speedy Gonzalez, you're next. All right, cool. I just got the other trophy I was going for, the one about killing every enemy type with the Blackrock gun, which is pretty much
Blackrock powder.
impossible.
Keep an eye out for more of these.
It's pretty much impossible to do unless you save all your ammo for this section. Ah, here we go. That's a very interesting song you got playing there. 68528. Okay. Let's see. A lot of stuff here. Letter from Dr. Darling. Archives. I just received a letter from Darling about a request you made to bring in live subjects. What were you thinking? Do you know how that looks? What did he say? Was it approved? No, he refused. You know protocol does not allow this sort of thing, and he says he will be making a trip to the lake house to check in on us soon, like we are children. This is very bad for our reputation, Diana. Please, if you have an idea like this, come to me first. Abandoned project. Diana, considering the details on the new page we have found, I believe we need to abandon the research into Alan Wake's writing. We must not endanger our staff. Don't pretend like you are worried about them, Jules. You're just looking out for your own ass. The fact that the pages are detailing future events means they are the correct method. We have to learn how to harness their power and dictate events to meet our goals, not Wakes, whatever those may be. The ATDs are producing better and better results. We just need to keep doing the work. No, Diana, I'm looking at the page right now. Constant imbalance, out of control, a crack in the lake house. If we continue with this research, we will lose our facility. Perhaps more than that. What is the point in succeeding if we are dead? I am a head of research here, and I forbid you from proceeding. You can't forbid anything. You are not going to keep me from the most important work of my life. If you're too much of a coward to keep pushing ahead, then I'll finish what we set out to do here alone. We have plenty of ongoing lines of research. I suggest you pick one and leave Wake's writing to me. You always needed me more than I needed you. Official complaint. Hello, Dr. Marmont. I have received your formal complaint about Jules's behavior. You claim he is maliciously keeping research material away from your team, but he says they have simply been misplaced. I understand you are frustrated, but I recommended giving his team a week or so to find the pages and return them to your team. If the issue persists, at that point, let's discuss your desire to escalate the issue. Does that sound agreeable? No. Not to her, it probably didn't. Okay, but let's read what we actually got here now. The definition of art, a study. To truly comprehend the threshold within Cauldron Lake, we must first understand its attraction to art. However, even the definition of art is as varied as the range of crafts that fall under the name. To that end, we must open a track of research dedicated to defining and quantifying art, ultimately rendering the concept unto a unit of measurement. To begin, let's not try to understand humanity's definition of art, but rather Cauldron Lake's preferences. Past cases of Cauldron Lake's threshold affecting reality have centered on writing, Wake 2010. Cinematography is also suspected, though not directly confirmed, Zane 1970. What about other mediums? We will need to test the viability of painting, poetry, music, photography, sculpting, dance, and so on. Well, we already know music works because of the old gods of Asgard. Not to mention the myriad of genres or methods with each medium. And what about crafts outside of the most common artistic expressions? Does any act of creation on a high level of expertise merit the title of art? Baking, woodworking, etc.? What about non-physical mediums? Why is music an art and philosophy is not? Does something become art due to its medium, its quality, or perhaps simply through the intent of expression? Or an equation made up of all three? What would be the order of importance? What thresholds must each factor reach for the equation to succeed? Clearly, there is much to determine. We must begin with developing a methodology using a vast range of arts and general creative endeavors, both physical and mental. Then find a way to test their potential connection to Cauldron Lake's threshold. Cauldron Lake is an enigma, with many layers to pull away if we are to understand it and ultimately bring it under control. The work will take years. On the morning of Redacted, the musician held at the lake house for research purposes was discovered missing from her cell. Security footage of the cell from the night before was damaged by electrical interference of an undetermined nature. Redacted, known professionally as Redacted, had produced a song called 6 Deep Breaths during her time at the lake house that was considered very promising as research material by Dr. Marmont and Dr. Marmont. Redacted somehow used her song to orchestrate her escape. Efforts to find Redacted were brief, with any wider search considered an unacceptable risk. to the lake house's mandate of confidentiality. Wow, so there is another music-based para-utilitarian out there besides the old gods. Some woman whose name we don't know that in 2011, a year after the events of Alan Wake, escaped from the lake house using this very song that's playing right now. Way to expand the lore, Remedy. There's para-utilitarians that we don't know. Will she be in a future game? Will she be important later? Who knows? Randolph was. Action to be taken. An investigation is currently ongoing as to whether any staff of the lake house were involved in the disappearance of Redacted. An investigation is currently ongoing as to whether the subject used the song they created as a redacted means of escape. All material related to and work produced by Redacted will be stored in the archive for future reference. Online checks for the public reappearance of Redacted are to be performed weekly. Known web addresses associated with Redacted in the past, known addresses with para-utilitarian / AWE activity, Redacted, thisHouseOfDreams.blogspot.com / something something redacted, www.sirensociety.io redacted, blessed redacted, etc. For the up-to-date full list, refer to Redacted. Refer to future games or DLC in future games, I bet. Alright. It all comes together nicely eventually.
September 13th, 2023. Notes regarding the concept of the tortured artist. A romanticized image of the sensitive artistic temperament, yes. But there may be truth in the cliche. It's no secret Rudolph Lane has been unhappy here for years. But, the aggregate data shows his art's viability score trending upward over time. If Jules hadn't neglected to hold regular psychological exams, then we could have quantified the subject's emotional state, creating a sort of distress rating to compare against the art's score. I'll make this a sub-goal of my study of Edward Booker. Once we set the variables and establish a control reading of his art and mental state, then we can begin inducing negative emotion. Limited food and water, perhaps. An increasingly tight living space. This is how Jules lost his subject, though. Need to be careful not to leave any sharp objects in Booker's cell.
Booker still thinks it's all a roleplay shit. Ooh, is this another Alan Wake thing?
The lake house was underwater. The Marmont's ambitions had finally been realized. Jules had dangled the painting like a lure and hooked an ocean. Their machines couldn't hold it. A fault in the system. The water rushed in, filled it until it was ready to burst. All their successes and failures had led them here. The work had made them into monsters. But the lake house was still theirs. It always would be. They could feel an outsider trespassing in their labs. "I know you're here," they called out to the dark. They hunted floor by floor. They wouldn't let the intruders stop their progress. This was their home, their beloved tomb beneath the waves.
Okay. Now, there's nothing over here. This just leads to all kinds of weird darkness distortion that if we go through it, we'll just get teleported back to it and turned around. So actually, to move forward here and get the elevator to appear... Well, first... Oh, shut up! First, there's something here to read. Annual Report Threshold Study. Progress in the Lake House's directive to understand and suppress the Cauldron Lake threshold. You know what? I can't with you guys making all that noise. Oh no, shit. That's worse. But at least there's an elevator to get to now, see? Alright, let's read this stuff real quick while we can. Directive to understand, suppress the cauldron, yada yada, improved. Research in the areas of threshold energy detection and measurement have made great strides, allowing us to work with the investigations department in the construction of an early warning system near the shore of Cauldron Lake. Exploring the relationship between the shadow and sources of light continues to be difficult without active threshold manifestations to test against. Additional means of containment and offensive measures against the shadow have similarly been difficult to develop without an active AWE, though theoretical research continues. Research into threshold suppression techniques is ongoing with no clear determination regarding their viability possible at this time. The team has been testing counter-frequency projection in the vicinity of Cauldron Lake per mandate V29 HED, with all findings being sent to Dr. Darling as requested. In summary, 2017 has been a successful year with further promising breakthroughs predicted for 2018. And before Dr. Darling was lost in the lockdown of the oldest house, he tasked the Lake House with discovering the nature of the shadow and its ability to convert art into reality. During our diligent research into this phenomena, it has become clear that Darling was not dreaming big enough, which leads us to the new goal of the Lake House and its talented staff, to create a stable connection between the Cauldron Lake threshold and our own dimension. Threshold travel has only ever been possible inside the oldest house and occasionally during altered world events, though this is often an involuntary process. The Shadow's known attraction to art provides us the perfect opportunity to create the world's first controlled bridge between dimensions that can be safely traversed in either direction. Yeah, right. A laboratory will be built on sublevel 5 where experimentation related to linking with the threshold will be performed. This location will take full advantage of our proximity to Cauldron Lake. In this laboratory, we will simultaneously develop machinery that can connect with the AWE site in the lake and use art as the focal point to create the bridge. Precise methods are yet to be determined, though teams will soon be formed to explore processes involving art as dimensional anchor, reality manipulation via art, and machine-assisted coupling. Okay.
Reportedly misplaced the manuscript pages I need for my work. Suddenly, the exact pages that I need to reference have just vanished. He is actively impeding critical bureau research. I mean, if he can do that, then what is stopping me from going down to that lab? And I don't know, just inverting the amplifiers or misaligning the receivers or both. It's the same thing in principle.
Someone lost their mind.
He booked the
This doesn't
lab.
look like Clint's style.
Some big experiment tomorrow. I can't find the details anywhere. That bastard is hiding them. All those years, he steals credit for my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized? Oh, that is really fucking rich, Jules.
I can't really read this with her
But he's
talking.
reportedly misplaced the manuscript pages I need for my work.
So,
Suddenly, the exact pages that
you
I
know,
need to reference
if you want to
have
read this,
vanished.
just pause the video and read
Is
it,
actively impeding critical bureau research.
and then
I mean, if he
I'll
can do
scroll
that,
down, and then you
what
can
is
pause
stopping
here
me
and read the
from
rest of
going
it.
down to that lab, and I don't know, just inverting the amplifiers or
Okay.
misaligning the receivers or both. It's the same thing in
Light
principle.
switch cord.
Light switch cord, that seems familiar from Control. Remember what to
Some
do with
big
these?
experiment
Told them
tomorrow.
3 times.
I can't find the details anywhere.
Quick lesson on light switch
Bastard is
cords.
hiding them.
If you find one, pull it
All those
3
years,
times.
he steals credit for my ideas and my work, and now he's scared of being plagiarized?
The Ocean View Motel is a dimensional intersection. The doors from the lobby can lead anywhere, but I didn't end up in the lobby this time, which was definitely unusual.
Yeah, we're in a hallway. But yeah, you remember the Ocean View Motel. That's the place with all the doors with the weird symbols. It looks like we only get one symbol door, and it looks like it's related to Control this time. Hey, this looks like the oldest house. Hey, that's Jesse. No, wait, no, it's not. That's Dr. Trench, I think. Kind of depends on what angle you're looking at it from, which makes sense.
Panopticon? But the Panopticon is at headquarters.
Yep.
I'm outside in a forest. The sun is shining. Birds are calling. I feel dirt beneath my feet. A breeze. Everything smells like rain. Forest.
this guy might look and sound familiar, and that's because, yes, it's Jesse's brother Dylan from Control. But look, he has hair, so obviously he's been stuck in this cell for a while, because he was bald last time we saw him.
I'm Agent Kieran Estevez, Federal Bureau of Control. Identify yourself.
I'm... It's quiet.
Who are you?
It's been a long time since I've seen anyone.
Probably because the oldest house is on lockdown.
There's a sign over there for the Panopticon. The Panopticon's only in New York, in HQ. Is this the oldest house?
I think that's where I am.
So you are inside the oldest house. Is anyone else alive?
I can't.
It's a waste of time. This is an FBC containment unit. Why is the Bureau detaining you?
I'm where I belong.
Everyone I meet here is either a painting or a paracriminal. Hey, this is important. FBC headquarters went dark 4 years ago. What exactly happened in there?
So it's been 4
We were
years.
attacked. No, no, not again. Not yet. No, 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 no.
Hey, stay with me. Stay with me.
Okay. Okay.
What attacked the oldest house? I need to know.
Something's changing. Outside. Can you feel it? I can hear it. It's getting worse. You can't stay, can you?
Hold on. For Wellington, I need to know if I could.
Well, that was weird.
Tell Jesse I tried. I really did.
Book the lab. Some big experiment tomorrow. I can't find the
At least my
details
voice is back to
anywhere.
normal.
Bastard is
I want to know what the hell that shit was at the end there with the person standing on the building wearing that cloak. And, like, you know, what in the Kingdom Hearts was that? You know what I'm saying? I'm intrigued because that seemed to be like a sneak peek at Control 2 or something like that, you know, like a peek into the future. Are we gonna... Is Control 2 gonna be like an open world game then? Are we gonna be taking place in a whole city?
Oh, Jesus. 1, 2, 3.
Sublevel 5.
6.
She did say you never get used to it.
No.
Time for the final boss battle.
The Marmots had opened the door into Cauldron Lake's threshold. It was forced. It was unstable. Shutting the experiment down was the only option.
Oh, hey, Jules. Get up. He's moving slow. You ever see a Taken kill another Taken? She hated him so much that her Taken form is killing his Taken form. That hatred is still there. Well, I guess now we have to fight.
Why did you idiots think this was a good idea? Where'd she go?
Up there. Ow. Alright, I need to heal.
Like I needed more problems.
Haha, take that, bitch. Oh, shit. Damn, she got me with that haymaker, but we still kicked her ass. That battle took me a lot longer the first time because I kept having to dodge the paint monster because I was completely out of Blackrock ammo. Alright, here we go. Time to put an end to this nightmare.
I know what the Marmonts did to you, to Rudolph Lane. I will do whatever I can to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again.
The putrid weight he could never wash away!
The Marmonts are dead. I don't know if that's any sort of consolation, but it's done.
The pain, it was all over him!
The threshold is tearing itself apart. I need to shut this down. Look, I'm sorry. I know you didn't make a choice here. It's not fair, but I have to shut this threshold down before it fractures.
Harsh, but necessary. Well, what's this? I guess we woke up in the dark place. But how did you get out of the dark place?
Agent Estevez stood in the forest just outside of Bright Falls. She watched her team detain Alan Wake and Ilmo Koska, stuffing them into black SUVs. She realized this was the moment Wake had been writing in the vision she had seen. The story was coming true. She pushed the thought out of her head. It had been a good tip, a way to find Wake. Nothing more.
Alan Wake! After the threshold event collapsed, I was back at Cauldron Lake. But for a moment, I was somewhere else. I saw Alan Wake there. He was writing about me finding him in Bright Falls, in the woods. It was a good tip. I called the surviving members of my team, and I told them to meet me there.
Looks like Edward made it out too, or Eddie,
Yeah,
or whatever
these
his name is.
cases, they never get less ambiguous or easier. This one, this was tough.
I guess
Because protocol says entities like the Taken are monsters, threats. But the Marmonts were monsters way before the Shadow got to them.
yeah, what they did to Randolph
So
or
at the end of the
Rudolph,
day,
man, woof.
what's the difference?
Yeah, I guess maybe this doesn't take place entirely before Alan Wake 2. I think some of it takes place during the earlier events of it, before when Saga's out and about and before they meet each other. Because once she leaves the lake house, she goes straight to picking up Alan Wake and Ilmo, and that's when they're at the prison later. But anyways, that's it for the Lake House DLC. I'll see you in the next Remedy thing. Enjoy the song. Bye for now.
We wrote so many things, wrote them for you and me. We're here standing on a precipice. We are ready to take a leap, but that only comes after. For this was the end scene. This was the end of an era. This was the sum of my body of work. When I'll be long gone, you can hold this together, and you can take it or leave it. Everything that comes after, and we'll always have this. All these moments that led us here, all this joy and these heartaches, they're woven into our very fabric. No one can take that away from us. The journey that brought us here. The journey that made us who we are. The journey that brought us here. From this vantage point, with my third eye open now, I choose to look back and see you've come so far. Yes, we had it all, and if nothing comes after, if the signal's lost along the way, we had a good run. Gave birth to this universe. You can never come back here to this ledge to remember, to pretend it all ended here, to raise a toast on this sunken shore. And if there ever comes more, you can still choose to say your goodbyes. I'll dream of more at your will. I'm just a memory that has moved on. And no one can take that away from us. The journey that brought us here. The journey that made us who we are. The journey that brought us here. The journey that brought us here. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Clock stopped, and another shoe was dropped. What a mess, what a mess. Deep breaths. 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Sharp pain, sharp pain. There's something in the way. What next? Sharp pain. Deep breaths. 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Go, go, I gotta let go, of everything that I've ever known. Deep breaths. Slow, gotta take it slow, 'cause that's the fastest way that I know. Deep breaths. 6 deep breaths till the pain subsides. 6 deep breaths till I'm fine, fine. 6 deep breaths, swallow all my pride. And just like that, I've arrived. I feel like I'm floating on air. I'm finding worlds everywhere. I feel like I'm floating on air. The nightmare can't have my dream. I feel like I'm floating on air. I'm finding worlds everywhere. I feel like I'm floating on air. The nightmare can't have my dream. Cannot have my dream. Gaslight, something isn't right. It might be best to fill the test. Deep breaths, 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Roadblock, feels like my heart already stopped. Too much stress, bones to reset. Deep breaths, 6 deep breaths, forget all the rest. Go, I gotta let go of everything that I've ever known. Deep breaths, slow, gotta take it slow, 'cause that's the fastest way that I know. Deep breaths. 6 deep breaths till the fear subsides. 6 deep breaths till I'm mine, I'm mine. 6 deep breaths, you can wait outside. And just like that, I've arrived. I feel like I'm floating